In the latest step to accelerate the rapprochement between Rabat and the Israeli defense industry, Morocco plans to develop a domestic industry to produce loitering munitions. Loitering munitions, sometimes described as kamikaze drones, are drones that do not fire missiles, but instead self-destruct upon hitting their target. This Wednesday, French publication Africa Intelligence revealed that the two countries are currently working on the development of a project to manufacture the single-use drones in Morocco. The French publication explains that the launch of this industry in Morocco comes after several months of negotiations with the group Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI. Specifically, Bluebird Aero Systems is the group's subsidiary specialized in the manufacture of these drones. Back in July, Israel's National Cyber Directorate announced that its CEO, Yigal Una, signed a cooperation agreement with Moroccan authorities, which would help Israeli companies sell knowledge and technology. This was the first cyber defense agreement between the two countries since the resumption of diplomatic relations between Morocco and Israel. The breakthrough deal will allow the Israelis to produce drones in Morocco in large quantities and at a much lower price, which will further strengthen their position in the export markets. The new deal, part of a larger military cooperation plan, is facilitated by the newly adopted Decree on Defense and Security Equipment, Weapons and Ammunition. The text frames the procedures for the manufacture, trade, import, export, transport and transit of military equipment. Moroccan authorities have yet to make an official announcement on this subject. However, several media outlets, notably Israeli, had already reported that Morocco had placed orders for the acquisition of Israeli drones. Morocco and Israel have wasted no time since the normalization. The two countries have strengthened their bilateral relations throughout 2021 with the exchange of expertise in the fields of tourism, industry, politics, and military defense. The European Commission decided to establish the equivalence of the COVID-19 certificates issued by Morocco with those of the European Union, EU, for the purposes of facilitating the exercise of the right to free movement within the Union. The COVID-19 vaccination and test certificates issued by the Kingdom of Morocco in accordance with the SGCCOV system are considered equivalent to those issued in accordance with Regulation, EU, 2021/953. We read in the text of the European decision, according to European sources in Brussels, Morocco is currently the only African and Arab country to have such a status within the European Union. According to the document, the Kingdom of Morocco is connected to the trust framework for the EU digital COVID certificate established by Regulation, EU. Remember that Regulation, EU, establishes a framework for the issuance, verification and acceptance of interoperable COVID-19 vaccination, testing and recovery certificates in order to facilitate the exercise, by their holders of their right to free movement during the COVID-19 pandemic. This regulation provides for the acceptance of COVID-19 certificates issued by third countries in accordance with standards which are considered equivalent to those established within the EU. The Brussels decision comes following technical tests carried out by the European Commission, from which it appears that the COVID-19 vaccination and test certificates are issued by Morocco in accordance with the SGCCOV system, which is interoperable with the trust framework established by Regulation, EU, 2021/953, and which makes it possible to verify their authenticity, validity, and integrity. According to the same decision, Morocco informed the European Commission that it accepts certificates of vaccination, testing, and recovery issued by EU member states and countries in the European Economic Area.